Okay, so today I'm going to go over cementing your crown to a TiBase. One is an Emax and then one is Zirconia, and essentially just a few little bit of the differences. So the first one I'm going to do is, let's do the Zirconia first, and then we'll do the Emax after. So what I want to show you here is these are the TiBases. Now the reason why I got wax on here and this white rope wax here is because when you get your TiBase and you're ready to cement it, you need to sandblast it. So here's an unsandblasted TiBase and there's a sandblasted TiBase. You want to make sure that when you sandblast it, you embed the actual entire TiBase into some wax, so that way you're only sandblasting the margin up. So that's why it looks like that. So I'm gonna just take that off. And then you're just gonna clean off some of the wax. It comes off pretty easy. Use the white rope wax, not the red. The red's a little bit more stickier. So that is a sandblasted TiBase. Now there's a few things you can do. If you have a digital lab analog, you can just attach it to the digital lab analog, and it'll be easier to manipulate and hold. So I'm going to do that. I'll have to show that. And put the screw back in, tighten it down. Okay. And so a little bit easier to hold. Some people have like cotton pliers will hold it. The tongs from the firing ovens will hold it, but if you can get a digital lab analog that you have in different sizes, you can just use that. So, okay, so there it is. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some Teflon tape. Okay, so put the Teflon inside just like so, and you don't have to use a massive piece, just use like probably about maybe even less than that size, and then twist it and put it in, and then you just want to make sure you can grab it when you pull out. So, so we got a sandblasted Zirconia crown. We did that already. So we sandblasted the internal aspect of the crown and the actual abutment. We just want to check it to make sure it seats good. Seats nicely, nice tight fit. So what we're gonna do is essentially, that's all you need to do is sandblast the abutment, sandblast the intaglio of the Zirconia. I'd sandblast the Zirconia and then come back and then polish it after you're done to kind of get rid of any rough spots. And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some speed sem, and again, and you don't need to do a lot for this. You basically take some with a micro brush and you're going to just paint it on like so. And then you're going to then do the same with your crown. A little more. Hopefully my lights don't set up the... And again, you don't need a lot because of the fit. And then what you're going to do is then just rotate that till you feel it drop in. And then you're going to hold it. And then one thing you got to do is you got to go in here into the center hole and just get any of that cement that's out over the top of that Teflon off, and just hold it. And you're just gonna hold it with pressure. And then while you're holding it with pressure for about 3 minutes, do a quick tack cure. And just removing the excess. There we go. Excess just kind of like flakes right off. Then what you're going to do is you'll take liquid strip and just just go right around the inside. And then you're going to do your final cure on the outside. Seconds is a long time. I'm watching it as it counts down on the timer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to rinse off all the liquid strip, and then we're going to polish and with the porcelain polishing kit, and you'll be done. So, okay, so next thing I'm going to do is grab this guy out. I need to get an explode. Let's see if we can grab it. Okay, I'm back here. So I kind of teased out the Teflon tape with an Explorer, and I'm just going to grab these with the cotton pliers. Grab it. And so now we pull that out. Now we see the screw channel down there at the bottom, and we're going to pull that out now. And so let's take this guy off. Once you hear the click, you know you can take it off. And now we took it off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to polish it up and make sure it's nice and polished, cleaned, and then it's ready to go to the patient's mouth, which I'm going to show you on the model up there. Okay, so now that we've finished this, I polished this up. Let's move back just a little bit so you can see it. So I polished this crown using a set of rubber twists and just polished the interface between the tie abutment and the crown. It's on there really good, and you can see the screw in there. Now it's going to go on this case right here. I glazed it, and you can see it's really shiny. So I put a lot of glaze on. Let's move that down so that's a little bit better. A lot of glaze on. So when you do that, just know that when you add a lot of glaze, you might be adding contact. So when you go to try it in the mouth, you actually might not be able to get it all the way down until you adjust the contacts. And I have a feeling, because I added so much for, you know, for aesthetics per se, to see how it looks, that it might actually be held up. So, okay, let's try this in. So this is our lab analog in the crown. So we're going to just do the same thing. You're going to put that to the mouth, and you're just going to spin it till it drops. Oh, I felt it drop, and it drops in. Once it drops in, you're going to then hand tighten it down. Make sure you engaged the screw in to the hand driver, or the hand driver into the screw, and then you're going to twist. And I always put my non-dominant hand on there first. Now see, that didn't feel down, so kind of like what we were talking about before, that it didn't feel all the way down. So you want to make sure that it drops into place like that. Now tighten it. And that's better. Okay, so hand tighten it. Do this so I don't pull the analog off. And like I said, I feel like the contacts are a little too tight after I glazed. So I'm gonna have to go back and adjust the contacts to get it to fit, because it doesn't look like it's all the way down. Let's pull this out a little bit, and you can see. Well, it's all the way down, but it's pulling my lab analog out because the contacts are too tight. So always pay attention to that when you spray glaze or paint glaze on, that you might be adding so much glaze that it causes the contacts to tighten. So again, in terms of adjustment, you're gonna basically try this in. If it's not going all the way down, you'll have to adjust your contacts, and I'll do that in a separate video. This one, I just wanted to see how we cement a Zirconia abutment to a TiBase, and what are the steps. And I have the steps laid out in the module number 4.